Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another edition of TEW2020 and the All Elite Wrestling Save. You join us fresh off the back of our Extreme Warfare pay-per-view, and now we are firmly straight on the road to the next event, which is AEW Revolution. As always, thanks for taking the time out to watch a video. If you want to get social, you know what to do, and if you do wish to purchase a game, links in the description below, alongside some of the best places to go for everything TEW related. Last Dynamite was a 79 rated show, just over 9,000, and kind of hoping we can surpass that with the excellent pay-per-view that we did have. It's an interesting main event leading off the after effects of what happened between Hangman Page and Jon Moxley. But the new era begins tonight, because this is the era of Hangman Page. Let's crack on with the show. So just under 10,000 fans at DeLand, Florida. And we start the show with the new AEW World Champion Hangman Page alongside his friend Shawn Spears, who helped win the AEW Championship. Of course, remember, Tully Blanchard is also in and around as well. And it's a 70 rated promo. It's just Hangman saying how for months and months he's been gaining momentum and he was getting absolutely no help from his elite friends. So he felt like speaking with his true friend has given him the AEW World Championship. This also is confirmation of tonight's main event as Jon Moxley seeks to get revenge on Shawn Spears in what should be a blockbuster main event matchup. Next up, we had a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, and a team of Darby Allin and Brody Lee, both of the Dark Order, defeated the Jurassic Express in 908 when Darby Allin pinned Jungle Boy with a coffin drop. In terms of in-ring work, Darby Allin far and above the rest in the matchup. A 70 rated matchup is good though. Some reasonably good performances. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy will take a bit of time to get up there, but overall I'm pretty happy with it, and a good victory for the Dark Order. Next up, more Dark Order action as Priscilla Kelly competes in an bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, with Chris Statlander defeat Priscilla Kelly in 9:19 by pinfall. Disappointingly just a 35, more so because the crowd were turned off because it was deemed as two pre-show workers, but we have to get them over and give them this exposure. So yeah, a good win there for the Alien. After the matchup, Brody Lee alongside Darby Allin are completely berating Alex Reynolds and John Silver, saying, "We can get the job done. Why the hell did you not help Priscilla Kelly get the job done? Why are you not helping Stu Grayson and Evil Uno? Are you a complete waste of space?" So they basically, you know what happens, Brody Lee gets the papers and he turns around and just rattles or hits Alex Reynolds with it. So a 76, and that continues the Dark Order storyline. Next up, we had an extremely short matchup that saw Tyler Bate win in 4:52, just gaining some overness with that victory. His opponent's leaving very soon. Then had a bit of a promo. Basically, Miro was in the ring and he's basically saying he's active, he's ready to compete, and he hoped to make his AEW debut soon. Interrupted by Frankie Kazarian, of course, alongside his partner, Brandy Rhodes. And Frankie basically says, you know, who do you think you are? Do you think you can just come in here and, you know, take up people's spots? Do you? We'll see what happens. So that's basically warm up to a matchup next week. Miro and Kazarian live on Dynamite. So that was a 67 rated matchup. Speaking of people that have just arrived, we had Austin Creed take on Rey Fenix, and it was a good matchup that saw Creed defeat Phoenix in 14:29 with a TKO. A very good 75 rated match. 60 for Austin Creed and an 82 from Rey Fenix. After the matchup, we have a bit of a confrontation, a bit of a heated moment between Austin Creed and Pentagon Jr., and it's confirmed next week on Dynamite it will see Austin Creed face Pentagon Jr. Nice easy start for the former Xavier Woods. We move along for some 6-man tag. And it was a good matchup that saw the team of Ricky Starks and the Titans defeat Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks in 13:53 when Brian Cage pinned Matt Hardy with the flying elbow drop. This was a 78. As you would expect, great performances from the Bucks, the Titans as well, as we continue to build up Ricky Starks and get him more over with the global audience. Matt Hardy taking the fall though, and after the matchup, Fatu and Cage absolutely destroy Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy performing poorly, so we need to work a bit on that, but a 60 rated segment, and hopefully that'll lead to something down the line. Next up, in a decent matchup, we had Nikki Storm defeat Jamie Hayter in 807 with a perfect storm. A 59 rated matchup. The crowd were pretty vocal towards Jamie Hayter, but it was just giving Nikki a victory because it all comes down to this next segment. So we know that Nikki Storm has beat most of the women's division in AEW. Welcome aboard, Shayna Baszler. I think it's one of those signings you just have to make, but if Nikki Storm was worried about no competition, she's certainly got that now. As I said, the AEW Women's Division was something I wanted to stack up massively, get as much over talents as possible, and I feel somebody like Shayna Baszler can certainly do that. So a 68 rated segment here, and Nikki Storm and Shayna Baszler get dragged apart by security. Next up, we had some tag team action, a rematch from a few weeks ago, and it was the Sex Gods defeating Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela in 6-11 when Chris Jericho defeated Sonny Kiss. This made him submit with the Walls of Jericho. Weak link was Sonny Kiss. Sammy Guevara was head and shoulders above the rest, but a 60 matchup is okay. It gives some more momentum in the forum of the Sex Gods. The main event had great heat and good wrestling. Jon Moxley does defeat Shawn Spears in 1407 when Shawn Spears was disqualified when Hangman ran in and attacked Jon Moxley. So a simple matchup there. The two of them, the numbers game, and getting the advantage of Jon Moxley. 80 rated main event is good. And we finished the show with a 4-on-1 assault. Remember a few weeks ago, Hangman was talking with the Butcher and the Blade? Well, they've joined forces with Hangman and Shawn Spears, and this 4 group beats down Jon Moxley in a 55 rated segment. So, again, pushing to get the Butcher and the Blade over. I don't feel we had many great promos here, so we might lose a pop in this show, but a main event of an 80 could potentially help us. In fact, a 77. It's not too bad. Increases our pop in places out with the US, I'd imagine. But pretty solid. It gets a lot of storylines going. As it says, we look to make the move to Revolution. And we'll take a wee note back into the main screen to see what there is. You'll notice as well there's a lot of people missing each week, which is understandable because, well, it's such a bloated roster. I'm kind of using that two ways. One, it's meaning when Double or Nothing comes, the opportunity to go to 2 brands, but at the same time, it's going to mean a lot of my wrestlers won't have the physical decline as much because they're not wrestling as many matches. Alex Shelley leaves Ring of Honor. Hangman Page says Joey Janela is too clumsy, and with a 2.69 rating for Dynamite. So apart from that, not too much to add. That's episode 1. Let's crack in with next week's episode of Dynamite. So the second episode takes place on Coral Gables in Florida, just under 10,000 fans in attendance. We start off the show with Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks in the ring, and they've basically announced they'll watch each other's back because we know of the issues that Moxley has with Hangman Page, Shawn Spears, and of course the Butcher and the Blade. But also the Young Bucks have an issue with the Butcher and the Blade, so they're going to set up a 6-man main event tonight. Moxley and the Young Bucks taking on Hangman, the Butcher and the Blade. So an 82 rated segment there, probably will be our highest promo of the night, and only Excalibur being weak at ringside was the only negative. First match of the night had some good heat and decent wrestling, and we had Claudio Castagnoli defend the TNT Championship, where he defeated Cash Wheeler in 8:47 with a neutralizer, giving him his 5th title defence. A 65 is pretty good. A 64 in ring performance plays a 58 from Wheeler, and it leads to a post-match stare down and a bit of confrontation between two men who will know each other really well, former Real Americans, and of course that is Castagnoli and Hager having a bit of a heated confrontation. They don't strike each other, but could be foreshadowing a future TNT Championship match. That was a 66. Next up, we had the terrible matchup that saw Ricky Starks defeat Il Lindemann in 6:11 with a Buster Keaton. Only a 33, the crowd don't really care about either wrestler here, but we have to build Ricky Starks up, and he picks up the win here. So the crowd we turn off a little bit, but after the match-up he joins in with the Titans, Brian Cage and Jacob Fatu, for a 3-on-1 assault on Il Lindemann. Next up, we've got a match-up in the continued feud between Best Friends and the Dark Order. And it was a decent match-up that saw Orange Cassidy pick up the win over Stu Grayson in 7:56 with a super kick. This was a 65 rated match. I feel Grayson's pretty good in the ring, would certainly make Orange Cassidy look $1 million, and Cassidy picks up the victory here. Next up, we had another match-up, and it was in the tag division, where we had Proud and Powerful defeat the Natural Nightmares in 10:20 when Santana pinned Dustin Rhodes. A 69 rated match-up here. It's a shame on the Natural Nightmares, but they are in a position where they just put people over, and Proud and Powerful reclaim some momentum with a victory tonight. Then go backstage where we see basically the champ being beaten down by Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler has grabbed her arm. She's trying to basically break Nikki Storm, but it certainly is a warning shot before their big showdown coming up. So it was a 65 rated segment. We then had a match up, the in-ring debut of Miro as he took on Frankie Kazarian, and in a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, Miro defeats Kazarian with a new move. The Bullplex is back, and he wins in 9:44. A 66 rated performance for the matchup. Both guys are actually pretty level, 66 and 62 in ring, but Miro obviously gets the win because he's new to the company, and yeah, we hopefully can have a good run with Miro. Then had some 6-woman action, and it was a bout that didn't have a lot of heat and terrible wrestling, and the trio of Chris Statlander, Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm defeated Killer Kelly, Leva Bates and Bea Priestley in 8:21 when Chris Statlander pinned Killer Kelly. You can see in terms of in-ring performances, Bea alongside Statlander and Storm lead the way. Still a few that are not really, the crowd are not taking to. I'm posting on the forums, I'm trying to get an answer for exactly why that is, just so I know what stat it is, and to see if it is something I can work on. But at 42, and it said we wanted to add layers to our women's division, when the winners of the matchups, Statlander, Purrazzo and Storm, are then beaten down by the Blonderage is what I'm calling them. I know Ashley Lane doesn't have blonde hair in that picture, but she's been blonde before. She's going to dye her hair blonde again. And the team of her, Ali. I tried to kind of think, well, AEW didn't really explain why she left the Butcher and the Blade. I could just kind of say that the Butcher and the Blade are doing big things, so Ali can just kind of be Ali. Same as AEW's explanation. And Penelope Ford joins them in this trio, and the perfect body gimmick for Ashley Lane got a very good rating, although the segment itself was just a 35. She's got a lot of overness, close to about 60, so I think she'll be a massive asset to the women's division. Then the promo from Hangman, Spears and the Butcher and the Blade, just a 58 as they talk down Mox. Obviously Hangman's promos are going to be good, and the Butcher and the Blades are a bit iffy. Yes, it does say Ali helped the Butcher. I still need to remove her. I've done everything else, bar that. Co-main event though, great wrestling, good heat. Moxley and the Bucks pick up the win over Hangman Page, Butcher and the Blade in 12:12 when Moxley pinged the Blade with a double arm DDT. Butcher was a weak link, 81 overall. Moxley win 97, looks outstanding here. So I'm really hoping maybe down the line he can get me that 100 rated match. 88 for Nick Jackson, 84 for Matt, 50-36 for the Butcher and the Blade, so a long way to go for them, and an 84 for Hangman Page. Which will lead us to our main event. Yes, there was another match to come, and it flopped. We are going to lose pop with this one, but you'll see why it evented. So it was about the great heat, as my voice goes there, and good wrestling. I had Austin Creed defeat Pentagon Jr. in 15-17 when Pentagon was disqualified when Rey Fenix ran in and attacked Austin Creed. So that was just a 68. I think I know why this is flopped, because I made them steal the show and it's a lengthy steal the show. So I guarantee both will be penalised in stamina. and Pentagon was off his game as well. Let's just have a look. Stamina. No, it wasn't even a factor, so both guys were able to handle it. It's just one of those matches that just doesn't work. But to end the show, Austin Creed's been attacked by the Lucha Brothers in the ring. And who comes out to save Austin Creed but Kenny Omega? So Kenny is back from his situation with Hangman Page, saves Austin Creed, and overall a 78. So I think overall, because we're judged on the main event match, I think we're probably going to look at about a 72 for this show. Even worse, a 69. So we lost Pop in 11 regions, we gained in 15, so that'll be the US, we lost a lot in. What's quite mental is, if I would have, obviously I wanted to keep the Kenny segment to end the show, as you would. But I think if we had the Butcher, Blade, Hangman Page, 6-man tag basically in the main event, we gain Pop. So it just shows you sometimes you need to take a gamble with your main event, and one time it didn't work. It backfired. So not ideal, but we'll take a wee look into the main screen just to see if anything has popped up, if there's anything worthwhile checking out. Let's have a look. Oh dear, oh no. Oh no, please don't tell me this is what I think it is. Ah, phew. Rumours were confirmed early this morning that wrestling megastar John Cena was involved in a car crash in the early hours of the morning. Reports are the crash was not Cena's fault and he is injury free. No way, I thought it was a Kenny death. I'm like, oh no, don't tell me John Cena's dying in this, but it seems like this was put in by Gaz, because the wee picture there. So you got me there, Gaz. Well played, sir, well played. Apart from that, little scare. Show still got a lot of praise, which is good to see. Nothing else in terms of stuff there. Kenny Omega says Austin Creed speaks well. Imagine that. And our TV show itself is a 2.31, so not the best, but yeah, still, it's not too bad, it's not horrible. So next episode will be obviously the 2 weeks before Revolution and after a wee Revolution, and then we'll kick on towards our pay-per-view that's going up against WrestleMania. So as always, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated, hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you on the road to Revolution. Thanks again, bye bye.